Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Giridhari Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Astottara Satashishiman Abhaicha Naravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Chara BBT founder Chara BTG founder Chara Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Astottara Satashishiman Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sago Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giriraj Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dhama Ki Jai. Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dhama Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai Ki. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vinda Ki Jai. Yuga Dharma Shri Harinam Sankirtanya Ki. Brihad Midanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Oh, glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhirayet Nasta Prayasa Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhakti Haituki Bhagavati Haituki. Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th Canto, 14th Chapter. The System of Universal Management. Today is text 9, 10 and 11, which is the last sloka. Text 9 and text 11 have no purports. We will chant together text 10 on the board. So I'll read text 9. Sargam prajesa rupena. Yes, I was going to chant it alone, Maharaj. Sagam prajesu rupena dasyun hanyat swarat vapu kala rupena savesham abhavaya pritak gunaha. Translation. In the form of Prajapati Marichi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead creates progeny. Becoming the king, he kills the thieves and rogues. And in the form of time, he annihilates everything. All the different qualities of material existence should be understood to be qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 10. Please repeat. Stuyamano janayebir mayaya namarupaya vimohitatma bhirnana Dashanayna chadrishate Stuyamano janayebir Mayaya nama rupaya Vimotatma binana Dashanayna chadrishate Stuyamano janayebir Mayaya nama rupaya Vimohitatma bhirnana Dashanayna chadrishyate. Mataji. Striyamanaha, being sought, Janay, by people in general, Ebihi, by all of them, Mayaya, under the influence of Maya, Namarupaya, possessing different names and forms, Vimohita, bewildered, Atmabihi, by illusion, Nana, various, Darshanai, by philosophical approaches, Na, not, Cha, and, Drishyate, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be found. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. People in general are bewildered by the illusory energy, and therefore they try to find the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through various types of research and philosophical speculation. Nonetheless, they are unable to see the Supreme Lord. Purport. Whatever actions and reactions take place for the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this material world are actually brought about by the one Supreme Person. There are many varieties of philosophers trying to search for the ultimate cause under different names and forms, but they are unable to find the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who explains in Bhagavad-gītā that He is the origin of everything and the cause of all causes, ahaṁ sarvasya prabhavaḥ. This inability is due to the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. Devotees, therefore, accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is and remain happy simply by chanting the glories of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada Ki. So I'll go ahead and just read the last verse, text 11. Etat kalpa vikalpasya pramanan parikirtitam yatra manvantara nahus chatudasha paravidaha. Translation: in one kalpa, or one day of Brahma, that take place the many changes called vikalpas. O King, all of these have been previously described to you by me. Learned scholars who know the past, present, and future have ascertained that in one day of Brahma there are 14 manus. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 8th canto, 14th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The System of Universal Management. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langaite girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So I'd like to first beg for the blessings of the senior Vaishnavas here, Maharaj, Dravida Prabhu, that we may say some words that may be beneficial and inspiring for our Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. The chapter began with a question from Parikshit Maharaj. He wants to know from Shukadeva Goswami, what are the activities of the Manus and the other Manvantaras who are engaged in their different duties. He also wants to know by whose order are they doing this? Who told them to do this? Why are they doing this? Who's in charge? And what are those duties? And so Shukadeva Goswami begins to explain. And as he's winding down his explanations, he comes to our text 9, where he's been describing how actually the one Supreme Lord is in charge of everything. And by his multifarious energies, his expansions, his incarnations, he is managing the entire universe. Although the Supreme Lord is got no job to do, really, he's the supreme enjoyer in the spiritual world. Krishna is engaged in the pleasing activities of exchanges of love. He is the transcendental Cupid who is surrounded by innumerable goddesses of fortune, the queens of Dwarka, the gopis of Vrindavan, his cowherd boys and his cows. So many living entities in the spiritual world are engaged with the one personality of Godhead, Krishna. And he expands there into many, many forms, many Vishnus, to reciprocate their love and their service. But that same Supreme Lord is also in charge of this material world, but through different delegated powers. And we hear of Prajapati Marichi, who is one of the mental sons of Brahma, how his service is to create progeny. You have this big, big universe. It has to be filled up with some living entities. And so there's a need for populating the universe. And we understand how the universe is populated from the higher planets down. A personality like Daksha, who's one such progenitor, in his mission to fill up the universe, got a bit of disturbance. And generally this disturbance is felt even by the small progenitors of this earth planet. Srila Prabhupada once complained, well, at least he mentioned how he is also getting cursed by the parents of his disciples, who come and feel and express that my sons, my daughters, we had a nice mission and plan for their lives, and somehow or the other, by your preaching, by meeting your movement, they've given up on that. And so he also gets cursed by such parents. Of course, sometimes the parents make it 360. After some time, they come and would thank Srila Prabhupada that by contact with you, my son has become such a wonderful person. My daughter has become such a wonderful person. In the case of Daksha, he had 10,000 sons. Narada Muni preached to them. They understood this business of trying to populate the universe is entangling. Might we not just take the shortcut of Bhakti Yoga? And they became Vaishnavas. They gave up the idea of entering household life to populate the universe. And Daksha was, for lack of a better word, pissed. But as a cultured progenitor, he held it in. And he created more sons. And again, Narada Muni. Because his job is to distribute the nectar of Krishna consciousness. What can he do? He sees some nice, strong, young men. He sees their potential for liberation and engagement in Bhagavad Bhakti. And because the pure devotees, paradukha dukhi, his only suffering is to see that the living beings are getting entangled in the meshes of material existence. So, let me save them. Like Srila Prabhupada saved everyone and shaved everyone. So Narada preached to them, and by his potency they could understand. And they also gave up the duties of procreation. And Daksha was now annoyed. He tried to hold it in before, now he pronounced some curse. What was the curse to Narada Muni? That he will never enjoy the pleasures of household life. Why? Because he will not be able to stay in one place for more than 3 days. And for Narad, that was a prime benediction. His desire is to give Krishna, give devotional service to every living entity. So the faster he can move around, the better. So Prajapatis like Marichi, this is their service, to create progeny. In the position of the kings, then the Lord, he is law personified, and he kills the rogues and thieves. When there are no kings in proper Vedic society, then the thieves and the rogues naturally start to flourish. We see that when Parikshit Maharaj was roaming and he met the personality of Kali, who had been trying to kill a bull, then Maharaj Parikshit immediately pulled out his sword and wanted to cut this brother down. No need to even find out why he's doing it. Very clearly this is adharmic, and to punish him is to sort out the whole problem. So the kings are called Naradeva. They represent the will of God on earth, and they are listed in the Bhagavad-gītā. Krishna says, of man I am the monarch. Srila Prabhupada writes how the system of monarchy was the preferable system of governance, but the need was for Raja Rishi, saintly kings. Now the system of monarchy has deteriorated. I think on the planet now maybe 2 or 3, if not less, absolute monarchs. I'm pleased to report that our International Society for Krishna Consciousness is registered and still has a heartbeat in the kingdom of Eswatini, which has an absolute monarch. It used to be called the Kingdom of Swaziland, but I guess everywhere where the king traveled, I also experienced, when we say Swaziland, people hear Switzerland. So he must have sometimes said, yeah, yes, I'm the king of Swaziland, and people chuckled, huh? King of Switzerland, since when? Then he went back to its traditional name, Eswatini. So if ever you want to experience, Krishna, let me not. You are welcome to come at some point to do some preaching there. As the king, he represents the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's meant to teach and protect the people by giving them spiritual knowledge. Evam parampara praptam imam rajasayo vidu sakalineha mahata yogo nasta param tapa. Therefore this knowledge even of Bhagavad-gītā was given to the saintly kings. Kala rupena, in the form of time. Krishna says, time I am, the destroyer of all worlds, Kalu. Smi. Lokakshayakrit Parvido. That in the form of time I am here to destroy everyone. But of course Arjuna was assured, not you. And someone may ask, how is Arjuna not going to be destroyed by time? In the Bhagavatam it said, Ayuharati vai pungsam udyanasto chayanaso. Tasyate katita ata prakashante. No, this is different. Yachano nita, that those who are engaged in the service of Uttama Shloka Vataya, the Supreme Lord who is praised by transcendental poetry, that the rising and the setting of the sun does not take away their lives. Of course, in the Bhagavad-gītā it's already stated that the soul is eternal. He cannot be killed. So life is spiritual, and those who are engaged in spiritual activity are in the life of immortality. So time cannot really take away from them. And in this form of time, the Lord maintains everything, and in due course of time annihilates everything. In today's verse, we hear how the people in general are bewildered by the illusory energy, and therefore they try to find the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through various types of research and philosophical speculation. Nonetheless, they are unable to see the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada has written in the purport how there are many varieties of philosophers trying to search for the ultimate cause under different names and forms, but they are unable to find the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. How come they are unable to find the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna? Because Krishna says that he is above the modes of nature, param avyayam. He says, Tribi mayai bhavai ebi savam idham jagat mohitam nabijanati. That they are under my illusion. They are not able to know me because they are bewildered by the three modes of material nature. And I am above these modes, being inexhaustible. I'm above them. So whatever methodology that we may engage under the spell of the material energy is unable to reveal the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is above the modes of nature. You're looking for something that you cannot be able to perceive with your current means of searching. Because Krishna is understood by devotion, by love. Bhakti mama bijanati. Yavanyas chasmitatvataha. So by devotion, I can be known. In Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma also testifies the same. Pramanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. Yam shama sundam achinte guna sarupam govinda maripurusham tamham bhajami. That by the eyes that are smeared with the ointment of love, then I can be understood as Shamasunda, who is Achinta Guna Sarupam, whose form is inconceivable. So until and unless one comes to the method of devotional service, that search for the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, remains impossible to fulfill. It may be helpful, different parts, different processes, like what kind of philosophers are there? We find the Mayavadis, the impersonalists. They are also searching. The yogis, they are also searching for the absolute truth. Lord Brahma says, Pantastu koti sata vatsara sampragamyo vayo atapi manaso munipungavaanam. So payasti yad prapadasimya vichintatatve govinda maripurusham tamaham bhajami. That they are drilling the breath for millions of years, and still they cannot even behold the toes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So such trouble that they undergo, and they cannot even get to see the toes of the lotus feet of Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is saying that the impersonal part of the Mayavadis is very troublesome, Kleshodikaras tesham avyakta shakta chetasam. After many lives, maybe it can bring one to this understanding. But it brings one to this understanding of Krishna when there is some favor of the devotee. Yes, Bahunam Janmanamante Gyanavan Mam Prapadyante. So, Vasudeva Savam Iti Samahatma Sudulabha. To come to understand Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, may take many, many lifetimes, many, many births. And one who comes to this stage, very rare, Samahatma Sudulabha, very rare to find such a person. And therefore, dear devotees, you are the elite residents of this universe. You are like top of the top, creme de la creme. The very, very rare who breathe rarefied air. Like the four Kumaras. They are elite scholars and philosophers. They were self-realized, self-satisfied Atmaramas. But until they caught a whiff of the manjari buds on the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, where they then benedicted with a graduation. Atmaramas chamunayo nigranta purukrama kuvanti ahaitu kim bhakti. That Atmaramas, they're self-satisfied. They're happy, they're fulfilled, they have no needs externally. However, to show that the Supreme Lord possesses transcendental qualities, that they also become attracted. So, we, by great good fortune, by meeting the pure devotee, have become those rare fortunate souls who not only accept the personality of Godhead, but are in close proximity with the Lord, rendering personal service. Just behold the beautiful darshan of Radha Giridhari, Gauranga, Jayannath, Baladev, Subhadra. I remember the first time I went to Vrindavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. I arrived there like in the late evening. And just walking into the gate, I could hear the transcendental kirtan led by Shripad Ayindra Prabhu. We subsisted off his kirtan in the temple. Now you can imagine just young men thinking, oh, Krishna. It sounded like nothing I'd ever heard. In fact, I didn't know that these were mridangas I was hearing. Funny enough, because nobody played the mridanga like that in our Sangha. So I thought they had some extra things they were playing. So now I walk in. The darshan, it was as if somebody pressed a button, you know. Because intricate decorations, beautiful outfits. It's just, you cannot imagine that this is done every day by devotees. They have sewn the outfits, they weave the garlands, they paint the Lord, and they dress, they put the turbans. It's beyond first class. Direct spiritual world. And I come from wherever I come from, and here I am seeing directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his own transcendental place of Vrindavan, while hearing the most blissful soundtrack of Kirtan by my Kirtan hero. I couldn't decide whether to offer obeisances for 10 seconds longer or I should just jump into the Kirtan. Just confusion. All my senses were just thrown hither and thither. Was some sort of ecstasy, some sort of confusion of an overload of transcendental stimulation. This is rare. But because we are living in these transcendental abodes, these temples, and we are in such close proximity, sometimes it escapes us just how rare and how great our good fortune is, that we are that small percentage out of millions amongst men. We are those persons. Meaning we are almost at the gate of liberation. We are almost leaving this material universe. But sometimes, right there by the gate, we can think that it's taking too long. It's like George Harrison saying, "My sweet Lord, I really want to see you, Lord. I really want to be with you, but it takes so long, my Lord." And that line, I can really feel it. It's like the man is, I'm here, I'm close, but it takes so long. So it shouldn't be the case. Srila Prabhupada has taught that the deity of Krishna is none different from Krishna. The holy name of Krishna is none different from Krishna. We have arrived, dear devotees. But it's just that we've arrived at the shore of Anandam Buddhivardhanam. That the perfection is always increasing in its sweetness, in its depth. And so this type of attainment to be in the devotional service of the Lord, in the association of His pure devotees, hearing the holy name, feels like, yes, it's nice, but there's always some hankering for more and more. And then nobody gets ever satiated with Krishna. The most cultured gopis, they criticize the Creator. What foolish creator is this? He creates these eyes with lids that blink. To see Krishna is the perfection of our vision. In fact, He should have given us millions of eyes to drink beauty personified Krishna. And they criticized. and they're transcendental personalities. So it means they still have not reached the limit of the sweetness, the joy in being in service to Krishna. They desire more and more association with Krishna. So we can learn from them that we should also never give up the desire, the search to get more of Krishna's association. However, we understand that the secret to truly entering the service of the Lord lies in pleasing the devotees. Srila Prabhupada writes, this inability is due to the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. That's one level. Srimati Kunti Devi says, Maya Javanika Chanam Agya Doksha Jamavyayam Nalakshase Mudadrisha Natyo Natadara Yataha. That first, one layer of, obstacle is agya, ignorance. We're born in ignorance. The baby is, for all sort of intents and purposes, human child is useless at birth, really. If there was no one there, there's no rasa flowing from a parent to do something, we wouldn't survive. We have no clue even how to feed ourselves, what is food, where to find it so much. And A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, we require education to know how to function. So we are born into ignorance. So my Lord, how can we know you? We who are born into ignorance. Then there's Maya Javanika Acha, there's the illusory curtain of Maya. It is blocking our vision. Currently, the curtain is not blocking our vision. We can see the Lord. But as soon as the curtain closes, then we cannot see. So Maya acts as the curtain which covers the vision of the living beings. And then the Lord is also a Dokshaja. He is beyond the reach of mundane material senses. We have this body, we have these senses, this is how we acquire knowledge. But now, to acquire knowledge of the Lord or to contact Krishna becomes stopped because he is above the range of material senses. And she says there that although if the Lord comes also, but he is not seen by the fools and rascals. And at this point we accept this. We are the fools and rascals. For the devotee, accepting this position is empowering, because it's in humility, in that consciousness where bhakti can actually thrive. Even the ability, the benediction to chant the holy name constantly. It is said by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that verse which is supposed to be worn as a garland by the devotees. No cookies for chanting this one. How does it go? Pi suni chena taro rapi sahisuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So, in that humble state of mind, everything is possible in the realm of bhakti. Therefore, the advanced souls we see, there's Dravida Prabhu, humble, so humble, therefore decorated with all the qualities of a Vaishnava. So when Queen Kunti says the fools, they cannot see the Lord who's like an actor on a stage. Sometimes the children, they go to watch a play, but then their one sibling is in the play, but they're in costume. And they're there, mommy, where's Derek? Where's Derek? No, he's on stage. Where is he? I don't see him. No, he's the monkey. He's in costume. So he's directly in front of the eyeball, but the eyeball cannot compute that that's the same person. Is not able to perceive. So the devotees in the 11th canto, it says, Krishna says, my devotees, they bestow divine vision. This is the sun, it can give us the ability to see things, but it has to be up in the sky at night, there's fear, we cannot see. The eyes are there, but still we cannot see. However, the devotees, they give the darshan which illuminates even the darkness of ignorance. Therefore, the Vaishnavas are most important for us. And it is in our service and surrender to the Vaishnavas that the Lord is able to recognize us and give us mercy. We are always in need of a recommendation. Yes. I also came here later on. I was lamenting that I didn't have the contacts of His Holiness Bhajanai Maharaj to personally seek his blessing to come here. But his deputed representative in the form of the temple president, Balaram Prabhu, authorized, gave some recommendation, yes, you can come to San Diego Temple. So everything is by recommendation. When we don't get the right recommendation, then we will not get the proper favor that we're looking for, even from Krishna. And so Krishna is depending on the recommendation of his devotees. Therefore it is said, Yasyat prasadat, Bhagavat prasada, Yasyat prasadan, Yasyat prasadan, Nagati kutopi. I got some insight. Maybe you live with Prabhu, you probably know this, that when we're chanting Yasya Prasada and Yasya, and we don't say the second part long A, then it's actually the opposite. Yeah. So yes, by the mercy of the spiritual master, we get the mercy of Krishna. Vice versa, by the mercy of Krishna, we get Guru. This is our process. So, the Lord has explained how, well, at least Shukadeva Goswami has explained to Parikshit Maharaj how the universe is being managed. And in essence, that the whole universe is being managed by the Supreme Lord through his different expansions, in this case mentioning the different manus. And Krishna has summarized Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharan Tunanena Konteya Jagat Viparivatite. Everything moving and unmoving is my manifestations, comes from me. And therefore, in this way, I create, maintain, and annihilate the universe. So Krishna is the supreme multitasking Lord. Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. With the material world, he is not directly involved. Just like in creating it, he simply glances at material nature and impregnates the living entities into her. But in the spiritual world, he's directly involved. In the lives of the devotees, Krishna is directly involved. Therefore, the devotees, whatever happens to them, they accept it as the mercy of Krishna, which is very mystical in this world. I come from a place which is really like Christian Loka, you know, Southern Africa is like that, an active Christianity. And I've been told sometimes, oh, my boy, how unfortunate you are. You took a religion from India. Oh, you really have been cursed. God abandoned those people of India a long time ago. Did you ever see their so-called priests? Not even one can afford a suit and tie. This was their calculation. They just wear torn cloth or just that. You can't see what's their fashion, what's going on. They can't even afford just a decent, normal suit and tie, coat and tie. So his estimation was that when you get the mercy of Krishna, then you have to get the material opulences. We have to see. This is how they preach. See my house, see my mansion, see my cars, see my Versace suit. I have received the favor of God. And if you sow a seed, yeah, you give, and then you will get. And sometimes the innocent can't trace how things are working. We are giving the money. And therefore he can afford this big house and fancy suit. But he's telling us, no, you give to me all the money and then you will be like me. No, you will be broke and poor. But this faith, Shraddha, in the heart of every living being, it cannot really be blotted out. It cannot be taken out. So sometimes it is exploited by unscrupulous men. The people have faith in God and they have faith that he works through his representatives. But then the representative, sometimes he's just cornering the market. You know, he's got a nice business. As is the case, we always give the disclaimer. It's not that we're trying to criticize them, but for the sake of educating ourselves, we are citing an instance where the representative of God, more than representing God, he's trying to represent his material desires, and he may exploit the faith of the jivas. And so here we are fortunate that we are hearing from the Akinchana Gocharas. They have no interest in material existence whatsoever. And they are simply interested in helping the struggling conditioned souls. So to close it off, Shukadeva Goswami says, in the day of Brahma, there's 14 manus. And they perform their duties accordingly. This is how the universe is being managed. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande Haribo. Bhagavad Prasadam ki jai. Oh, you have a question? Okay, yes, we do have 3 minutes. We'll take Hare Krishna.
You mentioned briefly. Oh, there's a microphone. Thank you for your class, Maharaj. You mentioned briefly about material satiation versus spiritual satiation. I was just wondering if you could outline the difference a little bit, because sometimes it's been a little confusing. Like in spiritual life, you're also not satiated, but for like a better reason. In material life, you're also not satiated.
You are. In material life, we're not satisfied, but we become, like we give, what's your favorite prasadam? Sandesh. Psh, Brahmana. So we bring you 5 pieces of sandesh. Life is good, you enjoy. We bring you 50 pieces of sandesh. You could probably make an attempt, but you're risking it. 500, you're annoyed, get it out of here. You don't want to see it. So there's a desire to enjoy, and so you take trying to satisfy that. But sometimes you'll reach a point where your stomach can take it. So you're satiated, you cannot take more. But the desire to enjoy is never satisfied, really. It's just that now you cannot eat more. But on the spiritual platform, the devotees are already satisfied. And their satisfaction increases. The spiritual input is never satiating. They don't come to a point where enough of Krishna now. Get him out of here, it's too much. Don't need to see him anymore. They are complaining, like we just mentioned about the gopis. They can't get enough of Krishna. So this is the big difference, like day and night. That means our prospects for eternally enjoying, trying to fulfill, and never actually becoming fulfilled while we are on the platform of fulfillment. Like they say, everyone's cup is filled in the spiritual world. Everyone's already satisfied with their position. But they can always take on more of that satisfaction. They never get satiated.
Yes, thank you so much.
I got a question.
Ooh.
Do we have time? I don't know. Where's our ball?
It's 8:45, but for you, Maharaj, please, yes.
No, I don't want to prolong thing. I just wanted to. Anyway, because I brought it up. Well, and now I forgot it. I can't believe it. Krishna jammed my memory. So,
Yes. We didn't
I was saying, you were saying how devotees, how we're rarefied. We're, bahunam jamanamante, or, a rare soul. And that sense that we're special, we're rarefied, only that, that can give rise to pride. You quoted later on Trinadapi Sunicena and all that, but there's a tendency in some, especially in young devotees, to become, on one hand, puffed up, we're special, we're rarefied, and that develops into a sense of disdain and superiority over the average conditioned souls. You're dogs, You're lower than, your hogs, and we're the, You got the picture?
Yes.
So how do we protect against that sense of pride?
Yes, thank you, Maharaj, for bringing that up. Because it comes on the one side of the inspiration is that you really have something special. Don't take it for granted. On the other side, we start to think, I am special. And that is then when we're starting to surf the waves of pride and they can crash. So we have to always meditate on where we come from, where we've been picked up from. And that, every living being is a part and parcel of Krishna, therefore completely special to Krishna. And we are fortunate, and therefore we should hold very special those souls that are giving us this opportunity. And by discussion, we remind ourselves that we are nothing special, but we have been given something special, and that we have a special opportunity as devotees. And I remember we were on Sankirtan, just to give a little example of this. We were all still new. We're distributing books, and one of the devotees, he tried to distribute a book to this one lady, and she just dismissed him. I don't want this, And he said, oh, that's because you're a demon. And she was so upset, her lip was trembling, Who are you, to call me a demon? You don't even know me from a bar of soap. And there I was trying to rescue the situation, so I was like telling our devotee, Prabhu, no, you shouldn't have done this. No, sorry, I think he's just a little tired, And he couldn't tolerate that I was intervening. He said, Prabhu, how can you defend this demon? Doubling down. Never. She probably preached to 1,000 other people, not to take our books. Yeah, and he actually held a grudge. We're driving back to the temple. He kind of took a dose. It was off. Somebody kind of woke him. Prabhu, we're here at the temple. He said, "What is this? I'm not even getting paid for this." So he wasn't in a good place. So definitely you're right, Maharaj. We really have to guard against this thinking that we are become so special.
Put it in a nice sutra, that we're not special. What we're carrying
Yes.
we can deliver special. That's very good. You cleared it up. Is this devotee still around?
No. I didn't. Yeah, it was like maybe 3 months tops after that incident. When he said that, when he was woken up and was upset, what is this? I'm not even getting paid for this. I was thinking, nah, he's on his way out. Yeah. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Kantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.